Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Good evening, I'm fine.
Very good.
Yeah,
Great,
fine. How
great,
about yourself?
Good evening, Doc.
Good evening,
great.
Doc.
Good evening. Hopefully, everybody had a good. I think I have a repeat
Good
on
evening,
here.
Dr. Adu.
Good evening. Hopefully, everybody had a good July 4th weekend, and we are back again. Another weekend, another Friday, and I'm excited to be here. This is going to be a very interesting discussion tonight. And I know most of you, are waiting to maybe chime in also on this discussion. But really, breaking the myth in non-technical and technical aspects of cybersecurity, we are going to discuss this tonight and look at what are your options, right? If you're looking at that space, and then where do we really draw the line when it comes to technical and non-technical side of cybersecurity? So you're welcome. We are starting time now. We started a little bit late because we're having some not that serious of a technical challenge, but we are starting time now anyways. So you're all welcome, and we will begin time now. All right. And I think we are all set. We are recording. We are on YouTube. So welcome once again to Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night. And if this is your first time of joining us, I can promise you are going to get something new for your toolbox. And this is for all cybersecurity professionals, aspiring cybersecurity professionals, or those already in the industry. There's always something new to learn on Friday nights at Eretmis. So you're welcome. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Ladu, and I'm going to be your sole pilot tonight. And everybody else is going to help with this discussion. So as we move along, please feel free to chime in. And a little bit about myself. So I'm former United States Army captain. Uh, I'm the founder of Eretmis Academy and the CEO of Eretmis Inc. And I'm also a QSA. I work in Eretmis Inc. as well, doing audits because I love to do cybersecurity. So I'm a QSA, a qualified security assessor. Eretmis Inc. is a QSA company, qualified PCI QSA company, and we do other cybersecurity projects as well. And then also a former professor at University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC, and a member of the Forbes Technology Council. So being in the IT space, I think 25 years thereabout now. And I love to mentor, share knowledge in the cybersecurity space and in general, in the IT space. So you are welcome. We are jumping in. Eretmis Inc. We are partners with CompTIA. Eretmis Academy, we are partners with CompTIA, and what that means is that CompTIA gives us 20% discount to our students, to our community members. So if you're on here, you're looking to sit for Security Plus, Security Analyst, you can reach out and we will give you a 20% discount before you go sit for this exam. So at least you save yourself 20% on these exams. And for folks looking to renew your certifications, if you sit for any of these exams, every 3 years you have to renew. So if one way to renew is to make sure you are either resident for the exams or you are using what we call continual educational points to renew, right? So if you want to use continual educational point or continuing educational points or education points, CEU or CPU, whichever certification body we are looking at, you can use you being here tonight. You can put hashtag team live in the chat. Take a screenshot of it, and every 45 minutes on here counts as 1 point for you to renew your certification, right? So you can take advantage of that as well. And with that, we are going to move on. We have a WhatsApp group. If you've not already joined, I think the link will be posted for you to be able to join. So if you've not joined, you can join and stay up to date with everything happening in the Eretmis family and all the nice stuff that is happening. There's a lot of good conversation going on the WhatsApp platform, and it's only cybersecurity related stuff that we put on there, right? And our YouTube channel, we are transmitting live on YouTube now. You can join us on YouTube. All the cyber chats we do, we put them on YouTube, so you can also get us on YouTube as well, right? Now, tonight's topic, we will jump cyber news like we normally do every week, Friday, because we are running a little bit late tonight. So we are just going to jump straight into the top 10 non-technical cybersecurity jobs that are out there. And we are not just looking at the top 10, but we're also going to look at the background that you need to be able to, break into these roles. Now, so with that, we are going to jump into our discussion here shortly, and I'm going to ask for your input also as well. Climb Credit is one of the financing partners that we are working with now at Eretmis. So anyone who is on the sidelines looking to get into a program but maybe financial constraints, you can look into Climb Credit. They approve almost anybody and everybody, and you can do very low monthly installment payments, all the way as low as 120 a month or something thereabout, depending on whichever program that you choose with them, right? So you can use Climb to finance any of the programs that we have. It's very an affordable way to invest in your future. Now, we'll go through a catalog of courses that are coming up this month or early next month. Our AI governance specialist, we are starting a new cohort by the end of the month. Date is to be put out later on, but tentatively at the end of the month. We are in July, so at the end of July. Now, this program is for folks who are looking to, now, there's AI, this AI that organizations are using AI, and they need people who are doing GRC in the cybersecurity side to do GRC for AI on this side, how to manage, govern, how to also conduct risk assessment when it comes to the use of AI. That is what you're going to be doing as an AI governance specialist. Now, this is one of the big niches that is slowly creeping up on the cybersecurity folks. So if you are in the security field, or you are looking to jump into, after your security training, you can look into jumping into the AI governance specialist course. Now, this also comes with internship where you're actually going to work on real world projects. Now, our cloud security class, also for security, for anybody who's gone through a security program and you are looking to polish up on the cloud, this is very hands-on. We work in the 3 different big cloud service providers. So Google, Cloud, Azure, and AWS. And we walk you through not only strategy, but also hands-on. So it's theory very packed in terms of the fundamentals, and then jumping into the environment and working on different projects. It comes with a very interesting internship as well, where once you are done, you're a full-blown cloud security professional, and you can sit for any of the cloud certifications if you go through this program, right? And then we have our entry-level course for folks who are totally new. You are looking to break into the cybersecurity space. This is the program that will help you to do so, right? So from start to finish, entry-level will make you a full-blown cybersecurity professional. It comes with 2 months of training and then 2.5 months of internship and workshop where you work on different cybersecurity projects, and then we help with job placement as well, job placement assistance. So we help with your resume and interview prep and all that as well, right? So this will take you from where you are to where you can start working as a security professional. And then our PCI DSS for folks already in the IT space, in the cybersecurity space, looking to specialize in arguably the most lucrative niche in the cybersecurity space. We encourage you to look into our PCI DSS program. Now, a new cohort is also going to be starting ending of the month as well, right? So this comes also with internship. We have the specialist that is 4 months and the expert that is 6 months, and they both come with internship. And all our programs is centered around, or all of them are centered around the doing part of cybersecurity, right? So you can't do what you don't know. That is why we will start you with, the basic, the fundamentals, the theory, the concepts. But then you can learn that all day. But if you don't do anything with it, or you don't practice working on projects, if you go to interviews, what are you going to talk about, right? You're not going to define anything, or nobody wants you to explain and define stuff. Maybe they'll ask you a question or two just to pick your brain on, but really what they are looking for is what you can do, right? And then we jump into this is, I would say arguably the best program when it comes to learning GRC, especially when it comes to doing GRC, not learning, just doing GRC, because here you are going to learn by doing, right? We work on projects, 10 major GRC projects spanning from conducting an audit, risk assessment, third-party risk assessment, incident response, awareness training, and the list goes on. And you are going to do, right? So we don't encourage you to join this program if you don't have any cybersecurity background, because we don't teach basics and fundamentals. You have to go through entry level if you're totally new. If you join this, then you should have a good working knowledge in the cybersecurity space, because we jump onto these projects and it's a super highway. So project, so all the way to the end, and it's really within all projects are done within a very tight timeline, right? So that is why we expect you to have a very good working knowledge in the security space. And then our WhatsApp, you can join on our YouTube as well. And with that, we are going to jump into our technical and non-technical cybersecurity jobs. So before we continue, I'll just take maybe 2 or 3 or 4 takes. What is your take on technical cybersecurity role and a non-technical cybersecurity role? Like, what really is your understanding of it? You can raise your virtual hand, and I'll give you the floor for you to explain in your own words. What do you think a technical cybersecurity role is and a non-technical role is? Anyone want to give it a shot? Okay. Andy, go ahead.
So non-technical role can be something like doing compliance, and technical role is where people patch, you help with patches, and then when there's an incident response, you investigate the cause and that kind of thing.
Okay. A good start. Ian, please go ahead. Or Ian, please go ahead.
I think a technical role is like essentially like the construction of the actual application, including its maintenance and actually building it. Whereas non-technical could be counted as like essentially like the front ends, if you know what I'm saying, like communicating with customers, making business deals, organizing finance to support the technical application itself, things like that.
Okay. Thank you. Mike, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Du. I'm gonna make a controversial statement here. So I've heard you a lot of times saying that there is nothing in cybersecurity that one would say is not technical. Even if you are creating just policies or doing compliance activities, it still can be considered technical, because you cannot just pick anybody on the street and say, hey, come and do compliance, and they will be able to do it. So from that, I would say, um, technically, there's nothing like technical or non-technical rules.
Okay.
That's my
So
take.
technically, Mike is right, and technically, maybe we will see. So, George, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I would say the technical role is the fixing of things like the patches and everything, and the non-technical is the guidelines. They make the rules for the technical people to act on. That's what I would say.
Okay. Anybody thinks otherwise? Oh, so I think Charles and Christopher came in. Christopher, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. So I would
Good evening.
say the technical would be engineering, when you have to create codes and work with more advanced technology, while the non-technical in the compliance, there will be no programming, no codes per se, but you'll just be implementing policies and compliance procedures and guidelines.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Charles, please go ahead. And kindly put in the chat where you're joining us from. That way we'll give you some shout out when we're about to wrap up. Go ahead, Charles. No, you're muted if you're trying to speak, Charles.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was already saying many things already. So I was saying like technical is those skills which is related to computer science, like coding, engineering stuff, and the non-technical skills is now related to the computer system or codings. By example, when you do the policy, when you do the management or communication or training, you now doing the coding, engineering stuff, like computer, knowing the part of the computer, maybe how to build this, how to maybe change, knowing all those uh, computer terms, something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Charles. And I think there were some inputs in here from Suleiman said non-technical would be compliance or other roles like that. And I don't think anybody else put anything in there. Oh, good evening from Ghana. Okay, Abraham, please go ahead and we'll move forward.
Hello, good evening, sir, and thank you, Dr. Edu. I believe technical role basically deals with scripting, coding, photography, and something like that, technical aspect. And then when you talk of the non-technical role, they basically deal with making policy like more or less like GRC in the GRC space, like assessment, auditing, and those stuff. That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Okay, let's use a very practical everyday example. So I think everybody here has been to I was going to use the mechanic shop, or if you want to service your car and you take it to the shop, which people will you consider to be the technical people and which people will you consider to be the non-technical people? If you go to the shop, there is a receptionist where you sign in. If you want to make an appointment, that is where you make your appointment. And then they will ask you or if you did walk in, you just walked in, so what are you there to do? Servicing, or you want to change this, or you have a special problem, blah, blah, blah. And then there are the people, on the floor who are doing the zzz, doing the fixing.
With the example you are giving now, the technical people would basically be the mechanics that would actually fix the actual problem. And the non-technical people will be the receptionists, the people that take your information down and help you go to the mechanic, help your car sent to the mechanic to get it fixed. They are the non-technical.
Okay. Anybody else? I think Charles, you had your hand up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like my friends just said earlier, I think the technical one, they'll be the ones gonna be the hands-on, the ones gonna be touching the engine and changing those parts and all those stuff. And the not technical one, they'll be the ones gonna support. They're gonna support the technical by maybe billing the customer by by making the paperwork or something like that. Thank you.
So, thank you. Then my next question is, should the quote or unquote non-technical people who are doing the billing, who are the reception, taking phone calls, and are they really supposed to know anything about the particular vehicles that are being fixed in that shop? Like, know maybe the parts or the brands, the type, Do you think they need to know that?
Yes, sir. I think they have to know. So that is the limits of technical and not technical. It's not by knowing. We can know everything, but like the hands-on touching those uh if somebody do the billing doesn't know like how much, what is the maybe the
What type of oil was used
yeah,
to
what
service your
type of
car and
oil, what type
which
of
type of filter
things.
was changed?
So if it doesn't know those, how it can build? So in the not technical cybersecurity, we know stuff, but we not like doing the hands-on like every day. but we know the principle. We know like what encryption
Encryption
means.
is
Yes, but we're not doing it like every day, something like that.
okay. Okay, so hopefully everybody is following the example that I gave, right? Because we are going to use that as we move along. Now we are going to know exactly, okay, so technical, non-technical, but where do you stand? If you want to go, you are going the non-technical side. What do you have to know, right? Like Charles rightly said, to be able to do the billing. Because if you don't know the type of oil and the type of filters that are being used to do this, and they mentioned that, then maybe you're going to give them a less bill or less money to pay, or you're going to charge them too much. And maybe what they did wasn't even up to that, right? Or so we will see what you need for even non-technical cybersecurity jobs, right? So let's look at non-technical and technical. Now we will look at technical cybersecurity jobs first. So what do we mean by technical cybersecurity jobs? And like Mike said from the beginning, Dr. Luz will always tell you, so what I tell you about everything is technical. Yes, everything is technical. But in the industry, right, they've come up with quote or unquote, quote and unquote technical and non-technical, right? And mostly when they say technical, they are referring to jobs that require you to know coding. You are going to be doing coding, or it requires you to be an expert in networking, operating systems, or operating systems, digital forensics, threat analysis, right? So that has been tagged as technical. And that area also requires you to have an extensive computer background, an extensive networking background, right? A deep knowledge and deep understanding of how different computer systems works and different programming languages work and function and operating systems. And so that has been tagged as technical, right? So mostly when they say technical, non-technical, although overall, to be able to even function on the non-technical side, you need to understand what is going on. But strictly going by, what we do, or maybe some of the bad uh, uh, sayings in the industry, right? Just like how when somebody says information security, they are referring to cybersecurity, or they can interchange information security and cybersecurity, although technically they are not the same. But when I say one in the industry, this is what I mean, right? So when they say technical, non-technical, yes, technical means you need to have an extensive IT background. You need to have an extensive understanding. You have to know programming really well, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, be a network expert, operating systems. You have to know them inside out. You have to. So that is technical by industry, standard. That is technical. So really deep understanding into all these areas. Now we are going to look at non-technical as we move along, but we are going to jump a little bit deep into some of the technical roles and what they do in the technical roles. That way, when we jump into the non-technical, you have a better understanding of what is going on. And reason why we are doing this is because in the cybersecurity space, there is something for everybody. Whatever your background is, whatever your educational background, whatever your professional background is, there is something for everybody. Even if you've never worked in your adult life, there is still something in there for you, right? So that is why we are doing this, to kind of start the conversation and let you know there is something for you. So if you are looking to jump into cybersecurity to do a career switch, don't sit there and say, but I have no experience. I mean, how am I going to? And the biggest question that we get is, so after I've gone through training, when it comes to working experience, what do I put on there, or how do I go about it? And that is where we come back to technical and non-technical areas, right? So let's jump in. Let's look at some of the technical, quote and unquote, technical parts or technical jobs in the cybersecurity space, right? So these are essentially jobs that have to do directly with the defense and responding to security issues, right? And like most, I think, of our speakers rightly said. So what makes a role technical in the cybersecurity space? And the first one is with a question mark, right? So you are working directly with security tools. Now, some technical rules, you're also going to work with some security tools, right? I mean, what we are really driving at here is not just your normal security tools, but some, I would say, uh, your technological systems that you use to defend your network, right? Which include tools. So you work directly with tools. That is not to say non-technical, you're never going to work with any tool, but just keep that in mind. So if uh, the technical side, the extent to which they work with the tools will determine, the technicality of their job and non-technical areas. You also need to know how to write and read a code or a script. So Python, PowerShell, Ruby, Bash, you need to know them, not just intro into those, languages or programming languages, but you have to be, I'll say, an expert, right? You have to have a very good working. You should be able to read and understand if somebody writes a script. Now, managing and analyzing your IT infrastructure, handling incidents, digital forensics, testing and identifying vulnerabilities and exploits as well, right? And this is not the only things that make or that makes a role technical. It goes, I mean, there is a lot more, but we cannot touch on all of them. So let's look at some of the common technical cybersecurity roles. So we have security analyst or doing SOC analyst role. So folks who are trying to break into the cybersecurity space and they want to go straight into SOC analyst, you know what you're getting yourself into, right? So they monitor, they investigate security alerts, they use different tools, Splunk, QRadar, other SIM tools as well. They respond to threats in real time. Now there are different levels and tiers when it comes to SOC analysts. So 1, 2, 3, and it goes into management space as well. Now penetration testing is a technical role. Ethical hacking or penetration tester, one of the same. You are going to try to breach systems, try to break into them. And if you find vulnerabilities, you are going to come up with a report on which ones you're able to exploit, which ones you couldn't. And, organizations will use that information to protect themselves, right? Now, these are not the only roles. Security engineer, incident responders. For security engineer, you are going to design, configure security infrastructure, maintain your firewalls, IP, EDRs, and others. Incident responders. So this can be tied into your forensics, right? Folks who will do the forensic investigation when there is an incident, just like how you see in these investigative, series like USC, what is the name of that one? NCIS and others. If there is an incident, they go to investigate. The same thing is what we do in the security space. If there is a breach, there are investigators like UC and NCIS. They also come through to do their investigation and they fall under this space, right? And malware analysts, reverse engineers, they all kind of fall under the bigger umbrella of incident response and forensics, right? And then SOC to a certain extent. And then we have threat intelligent analysts. They also kind of fall within the same space, right? So all these roles we will consider to be technical. And for your malware and reverse engineers, I think we just saw that again. So some of the skills that you often need here be understanding operating systems, so Linux, Windows, and others, networking, understanding networking, having not just understanding it, but a very good, I'll say maybe 9/10 when it comes to networking. Programming, same thing, 9/10. Tools, you have to be well vested in the tools. Now for the certifications, if you have them, fine. If not, it's not a hard requirement, like we've talked about several times. Now, what are non-technical roles, right? And the example that I gave, if you go to the mechanic shop, there's somebody who is going to be at the front desk receiving you, taking asking you what the problem is, giving them all that information, and then they'll pass you on to somebody else, and probably pass you on finally to the mechanics. Those will be considered, in quotes, non-technical, right? So let's look at the non-technical in the cybersecurity space. These are roles that do not require everything else that we looked at, right? So you don't need to know any computer programming. You don't need to know how to configure networks. You don't need to know how to analyze malware. You don't need to know any of the things that we talked about earlier, right? So does that mean that I don't need to know anything in cybersecurity to do a non-technical role? That is a big question we are going to answer tonight, right? So instead of everything that we looked at that you need, here you don't need those. So some of the things that you are going to be doing and the focus areas, like most of you said, policies, risk compliance, training and awareness, projects management and program management, documentation and writing, legal and privacy, right? These are some of the areas that you are going to be looking at, right? So these roles, they support cybersecurity goals without going too deep into the technical areas of it, right? Just like how if you go to the mechanic shop, everybody else who is not on the floor working turning wrenches, they are supporting the work of the mechanics. And if they are not there, the mechanics cannot, function. They have to be the ones coming to receive the phone calls, booking appointments, billing, doing all sort of stuff. The people at the parts department who are selling the parts, they are not turning wrenches, but they also have a role to play. And all those people are non-technical. If we are looking at the mechanical, like mechanic career, right? In that space, maybe mechanical engineering career in that space, these folks that I've just mentioned, they are non-technical, right? But they support everything else that is going on. So they support the technical side of the work, but so they are more of your supporting team, right? So then for the people still using the mechanic shop as an example, people there, somebody can easily move from working at Target doing billing, or if they were the ones in the customer service department receiving calls, they can easily transition into the mechanic shop and start doing the same thing, right? Or almost the same thing. And other people in other areas can easily transition into, somebody can even transition into a law office if they're the ones at the desk, front desk, helping with, receiving visitors in and out, making appointments. They can transition into the mechanic shop and still do something similar, right? So you can come from any background and land a role in the non-technical part of cybersecurity. So mostly if you see, I know there are a lot of cybersecurity arts, a lot of cybersecurity schools, and everybody's trying to advertise for something and tell you, hey, you don't need this. To a certain extent, it's true, right? You don't, on the non-technical side, you don't need an IT background. You don't need a cybersecurity background. So if somebody is on the other side saying, no, that is BS, blah, 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 now you know better now, because you are going to let them know, hey, if probably maybe your scope of knowing how things work in the security space is limited. But really, we are doing this for you to know that from a business background, education background, a law background, HR background, communication background, you can even come from no background, right? Nobody, you don't have any of these backgrounds, or so you are coming from a no background, there you can still do non-technical cybersecurity stuff. Now there's a caveat to it, and that is what we are going to get to at the end of this presentation, right? So just like the example that we were given at the mechanic shop, doing billing or being the guy at the parts department, giving out parts, you don't have to be turning wrenches, but you have to understand what is going on to be able to give out the right parts, right? So even though you have a computer with all the parts in there, you can put them in there, but at least you should know what you are looking at, right? So that is your job on the non-technical side, is to understand and know what is going on to be able to function effectively. Now, majority of what you are going to be doing the skills and the abilities, you might have been bringing that from outside the cybersecurity space or outside the mechanical shop space, right? So the core traits for non-technical roles, the focus is on processes, people, and policies and others, right? It requires a lot of soft skills as well, communication, analysis, organizational attention to detail, and others. Now, also, you can get into this space with no technical background, right? And what I mean is non-IT background, yes, you can jump in. So if you have an IT background, then I mean, it's a plus plus for you, right? So let's jump into some of the non-technical job titles that are out there. So you see, cybersecurity compliance analyst, and is in red for a reason. Security awareness specialist, not in red. GRC coordinator, GRC analyst. Yeah, non-technical to a certain extent. Privacy program assistant, cybersecurity programs manager or project manager. All these are examples of some of the non-technical roles that you are going to find in the cybersecurity space, right? Now, with that being said, like the runs in red and some other non-technical roles, you will and for all the non-technical roles, one, you need to have a good working knowledge in cybersecurity to be able to function in any of them, right? But we will discuss, and for to the extent of the good working knowledge of cybersecurity that you need, will be determined by the role that you are aiming for, right? So for the list that we have here, for cybersecurity compliance analyst, your working knowledge has to be a bit higher than somebody who is doing cybersecurity project manager, right? Your GRC coordinator, you also need to have a bit of a good working knowledge than somebody who is doing cybersecurity programs manager or project manager, right? And we explain that even more as we move along. So what makes the non-technical jobs non-technical jobs? One, they use a lot of transferable skills. So unlike the technical jobs that we saw, that you need to know programming, you need to be able to configure a firewall, you need to be able to do this, you need to be able to do that. Here, there's a lot of skills that you have already. Just coming in without knowing any cybersecurity, you have probably 40% of what is needed, right? Then it takes a meeting and discussion like this for us to open this up more for you to understand what is going on, right? Because if you are new to the cybersecurity space, there are different programs. People are trying to pull you in all different directions. Okay, learn. And some people tell you about programs they took, and you are there scratching your head like, who came up with this curriculum? You learn a little bit about maybe some compliance frameworks, and then they will do a little bit about ethical hacking, and then they will do some scanning with some vulnerability tools, and then they will do those training. I don't really know what they are trying to get at, right? But if you have no technical cybersecurity, if you have no technical IT background or cybersecurity background, and somebody wants to train you to be an ethical hacker in 3 months, I don't know what they are smoking and what you are smoking, because you ain't gonna be no ethical hacker in 3 months. Because like you just saw, like the discussion that we just had, you need an extensive IT background. You need to know programming, and that is not so. Just learning one programming language can be a whole career move, right? Now, to be a pen tester of the caliber you want to get at and to make that money that you are looking for, you need to know at least Python 9/10 or 10/10, Bash, Ruby, PowerShell, and the list goes on, right? And all these can be a whole career move, each single one of them. Now, on top of that, you also have to know your way around the computer space, IT space, right? You should know operating systems, how they function. So there is a lot that you have to learn, right? So most people who want to be ethical hackers because their life calling is to be an ethical hacker. They start off from the non-technical roles and they work their way all the way to that side. Because by the time they get there, they have a lot of, knowledge and skill under their belt. So they understand they just have to keep adding on, keep adding on. So this is just to help educate you. So if you don't waste your time pursuing an ethical hacking dream, that is only going to end in a lot of disappointment because you cannot do it within the 2 months. If you have no IT, if you already work in IT and you've done different IT roles, perfect, right? You can just go in there and then learn what you need to learn and practice and get better and get better. But with no IT background, it's advisable to go on the non-technical side, use that to break into the space, and then whatever else you want to do that is technical, you can build on it as you are moving along, right? So we are going to jump on as we are moving along. If you have any questions, you can kindly raise your virtual hand and we will address that accordingly, right? Charles, please go ahead. You are muted,
Thank you,
Charles,
sir.
if you're trying to speak.
Yeah, thank you. I was applying, like right now I'm applying one job. The title say principal technical program manager privacy analytics. So when I check the requirements, even though the name say technical, there is nothing technical here. Everything just soft skills and your ability to understand the data and how to classify those data. That's it. So most of the time, the term technical, when I see this, I was caring about technical. I was thinking too much coding, but you need to check the job description, not just the title, because some company, when they put technical stuff, it's not just mean technical. That's why I wanted
Okay.
to.
Thank you, Charles. And great you brought this up because one of the non-technical cybersecurity roles that we are going to look at is a technical writer, right? So maybe sometimes we are using the words technical vaguely, right? So thank you for bringing that up. Now, some of the soft skills that we are looking at, great communication skills. So they will normally say oral and verbal communication skills. Okay, oral, no, it's either verbal, oral, or written communication skills. Yes, take that back. Now, organizational skills, project management skills, program management skills, customer service, finance, legal, compliance, and the list goes on. These are some of the transferable skills that you are bringing from wherever you are coming from, right? And mostly a question that I ask most people who will come up with, yeah, so if I'm done with the training, what do I put on my resume? I mean, I have no working experience. And I ask them, so what is your current role? Maybe they will tell you, oh, I'm a manager at my job. How long have you been a manager for? Maybe 5 years, 10 years. Okay, so once you've done with this training, you have a good working knowledge of cybersecurity. Do you think if you're applying to cybersecurity programs manager role or cybersecurity manager role, you don't have any experience from your managerial role that you are in for 10 years that you are bringing to the table on the cybersecurity side? And they are like, yes, I do. Okay, so why you saying you have no experience when it comes to, because they are saying 5 years of experience. Now, does that mean your experience that you had 10 years, the 10 years of management experience or project management experience you have there, we throw that out of the window and we say you are totally new, you don't know anything about program management or project management because you are coming into cybersecurity. Now, what are you going to be managing in cybersecurity? If it's just a purely managerial role, you are managing people, right? In your other company or in your other role, what were you managing? People. Is that really different from managing people in IT than managing people in a different role? People are people, right? If you're managing a program there and you're managing a program here, yes, you have to know the technicalities of that program and that program, but really the management part or the project management part, if you're a project manager, does it really matter if you are managing a car building factory project or you are managing a book writing company's project? The principles of project management are the same. You can apply it anywhere. You just have to tailor it to them, but the principles the same, right? So transferable skills means you have some skills coming into cybersecurity already. Now, you are not required to have a certification or a technical degree to start. You don't need an IT degree of any sort. Even certifications, you don't necessarily need a certification. If you have it, it's a plus, it's nice. If you have an IT degree, it's nice, but you don't need it to start, right? On the non-technical side. Even some technical side, they are not, these certifications and technical degrees are not set in stone, right? Because mostly employers, they value what you can do and what you've done, right? So we jump into non-technical roles. They exist in almost every industry. So banks, the financial industry, government, the government side, health side, tech startups, educational institutions, you can find non-technical cybersecurity jobs anywhere and everywhere. So, and they are a good entry point, like I said earlier on. They are a good entry point for anybody looking to break into the cybersecurity space, right? It gives you that exposure to different environments. You also get to learn and practice what you have already acquired. And you can also do lateral movements. So just easy slide into a role. And because you have most of the transferable skills needed there, sometimes that can even be 80%, 60%, 70% of what they need for that role. Because for once we're done, just check different cybersecurity job titles, especially for like the ones that we are going to look at. Go through the job description and look at the skills and knowledge they are looking for. You might probably go in there if you have never been to any cybersecurity training. You can go through and say, okay, I think I have most of the skills here. I just have to polish up on the cybersecurity things they are looking for, right? So, but mostly when people are looking at job descriptions, they lose sight of the soft skills. They just pay attention to the technical skills. They are looking at what they don't have, right? All the skills they have, they kind of overlook. Well, attention to detail, great interpersonal skills, communication skills. They think that was put on there for fun. Right. Now, when they advertise these jobs, they pay for it. It's not free. So why would you list a bunch of stuff you don't need in a candidate on a space that you're paying for? Right. So if it is on there, it means it's important to them. And that is why, even though it's important to them, in cybersecurity, you go to at least 3 interviews before they give you the role. One of those interviews, the focus is on purely soft skills. So soft skills interviews is just, demonstrating that you are a good team player. You have good attention. You pay attention to detail. You have great communication skills. You can all these transferable skills that you might take for granted. A whole session, out of the 3 interviews, one is just specifically for that, and that is what most people, have already coming into cybersecurity. But that is where most people also fail to nail their first, second cybersecurity roles, right? So we are going to be looking at the top 10 cybersecurity, non-technical cybersecurity roles, and we will look at what is needed in terms of background to be able to get in there. But before we do, if you join us a little bit later, Climb is one of our financing partners now. You can enroll in any of our courses through Climb. Is an affordable way to be able to enroll in any of our courses if financing on your own is an issue. And for the catalog of courses that we are going to be starting pretty soon, ending of this month, our AI governance specialist, for folks looking to jump ahead of the AI buzz, right? Not just something that is going to die off. AI is here to stay. And for most of the tools that organizations are using, they need people, and this is a non-technical role. You're not going to be coding or writing the software for AI. You are going to be managing the use of AI in terms of the risks, the governance, and compliance of it, right? So this is a non-technical role as well, like we were talking about. And for anyone who is been through any cybersecurity training, this is a good follow-up for you to add to your toolbox to become get ahead of the game, right? In the next 2 years, a year and 2 years to come, most of the cybersecurity roles will be tagged with AI, right? So instead of your normal GRC specialist, GRC slash AI specialist, and that is how most of these roles are going to go. So you have to get ahead of this before, it's too late. Now, our cloud security, we are also starting a new cohort ending of this month. And this is the best vendor neutral training out there in terms of cloud security. We cover all the different cloud service providers, Azure, Google Cloud, AWS, and it's very hands-on. So you are not just learning theory and concepts, you're actually going to be doing and practicing in these different environments to make you a better security professional, right? So this is also going to start in the end of the month. Now, for folks looking to break into the cybersecurity space, totally new to cybersecurity IT, you're in the nursing industry, you are an accountant, you are whatever you are, this is the path to break into the cybersecurity space. Now, this training, first 2 months, take you through cybersecurity basics, fundamentals, all the way to intermediate level knowledge. And then you also practice working with some of these popular cybersecurity tools. And the second portion is our workshop and internship, the GRC workshop and internship, where you work on a lot of these cybersecurity projects. So conducting an audit, third-party risk assessment, incident response, awareness training, governance, working on policies, procedures, and the list goes on. Right. So if you are looking to break into the security space, the cybersecurity entry-level course will take you from where you are to where you can work as a cybersecurity professional. Now, our PCI DSS payment security compliance, this is a specialized niche in the cybersecurity space, arguably the most lucrative. If you are looking to specialize in a niche in the cybersecurity space, reason why you want to choose PCI is this framework applies to all industries. It cuts across all continents. Anybody in the world, if you're accepting credit card and debit card as a company, they have to stay in compliance with PCI DSS, right? So, and they need PCI professionals to help them navigate the space, the PCI DSS space, right? This is one of the frameworks that is not easy to navigate. Unlike maybe your RMF and others that, if you have a very good working knowledge of security, you can just grab it and, just work with it. Here, you really have to have somebody show you your way around the PCI space, right? So, and lastly, our GRC specialist and our GRC internship and workshop. So for anybody who's gone through different training, GRC training elsewhere, if you are looking for real world hands-on, where you work on real world cybersecurity GRC projects, to be able to speak to during interviews, and also to most importantly on the job to be able to function effectively without becoming a working heart attack, like some people are on the job, then jump onto this upcoming cohort. On the 26th of July is when we are starting our new GRC workshop and internship, where we walk you through to work on different cybersecurity projects. So you've been learning cybersecurity up to this point is good. Now is the time for you to do cybersecurity, right? So you can learn all you want. If you've never done anything, good luck, talking in circles during interviews. You can talk and talk and talk. And your folks during the interview, they are very nice. They will nod and okay, all right. But really, you are talking nonsense and they know you are talking nonsense. Don't think you are fooling anybody. They know better, right? And if you get, that email that they are moving on with somebody else, don't be boo-face because you don't know what you are talking about. And even if you are given the role without an interview, what are you going to do on the job? So if you are looking to get the real world hands-on, get onto the GRC workshop and internship. Now our WhatsApp group Also, you can join. The link has been posted. So you can jump onto this as well to stay up to date with everything that we are doing in the Eretmis space, Eretmis Academy space. Now, the top 10 non-technical cybersecurity jobs. One, okay, so before we move into the top 10, I just gave one up. I want maybe two people to maybe make some predictions or guesses to see if their guess will be right in our top 10. And this is our top 10, right? Dr. Edu and Eretmis's non-technical cybersecurity jobs. So if you think you have a candidate for the top 10, you can raise your virtual hand and let us know what one of your top, what you rate as top 10 is. Any votes for any of the top 10? Or everybody is scared to get it wrong. I mean, a lot of folks were talking about GRC, right? So, Charles, go ahead.
Yes, the first one is the GRC analyst.
Okay. Okay, so yes, Charles is shooting for GRC analyst. Anybody else? Michael, please go ahead.
Also, nobody is speaking, so I can add some.
Oh, okay. I think I called out Michael. Go ahead, Michael. You are muted if you're trying to speak. Okay, Nanayal, please go.
Yeah, I would say maybe compliance and regulatory. I don't know whether it will fall under GRC.
The GRC. Yeah, I think compliance, they have compliance analysts, just compliance analysts, but compliance and that kind of also falls under GRC, right? Abraham, please go ahead.
I would say CPRM specialist or risk analyst.
Okay, third-party risk analyst. Okay. Oh, Michael said he's having some technical challenges. And I think Charles went already, right? So we will go with, and I think Christopher also had his hand up. So Fabi, please go ahead, and then Christopher.
Incident response analyst.
Incident response analyst. So we're keeping track of the vote. Christopher, please go ahead. Oh, you are muted if you're trying to speak, Christopher.
Risk analyst.
Risk analyst. Okay. So risk analyst. Yes. Okay. So with that, we are going to move on to our list. Kindly give me a second. Mike, go ahead.
Internal auditor.
Okay, internal auditor. Yes.
Yeah, compliance.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's go through the list. And I think you were able to come up with at least 3 or 4 of the top 10. Right. So the first one we are looking at is, and this is not in any special order, security awareness specialist / trainer. Right. So, and what backgrounds do you need to be able to do this? We'll look at the backgrounds extensively, but really for security awareness specialist or trainer, what are you going to do? You design and you deliver training on different cybersecurity topics. So including phishing, password hygiene, social engineering, right? So if you're already a trainer, you are doing different types of training, whatever the training that you are doing is in the field, it doesn't really matter. The skills of training remains the same, right? Now, you as a trainer, even in the field that you are in, even if you are whatever field that you are that you think you are an expert in, even if you have to do a training, you still have to polish up on that specific topic. The same thing applies here, right? So you are switching into cybersecurity space. You want to do awareness training. Now the training is on phishing, password hygiene. Let's say maybe just these two topics. You going through maybe some cybersecurity training, having a good working knowledge in cybersecurity. You just have to dive deep into these topics, polish up on it in the delivery, how you go about your training, the concepts, the ideology behind your training still remains the same, right? The techniques, the tactics that you are using still remains the same. So you become a better trainer than somebody who is not done training in their life. All they've been is if somebody has been a career IT person, they've been in cybersecurity for 10 years, they've never done training in their life, and you have a good working knowledge in cybersecurity, you are both applying to a cybersecurity awareness training job, who do you think has the better chance of landing this role? The answer is obvious, right? Because if I'm the one employing and you came in, you're like, yeah, I've been training in the oil and gas industry. This is the type of training that I do. I've been doing this for 15 years. And then before then, I used to be a trainer here. I did this, that. And before then, and this guy is there like, yeah, I used to be a pen tester and I was this and I was that. And okay, that is all good. But really, what we are looking for here is a trainer. Cybersecurity is just at the top of the trainer, right? But the underlying thing that we are looking for is a trainer. So I'm going to pick the trainer, right? The trainer don't have to be an IT guru. He doesn't have to be a cybersecurity guru. He just have to know how to train. So if he understands the material he's using to train, that is it. Right now, you can be an IT guru and still can't train anybody to save your life. Knowing something is different from trying to let somebody understand what you know. They are two different things. So you can know, or don't you have cousins and friends and they understand something? Okay, explain this to me. And they keep going in circles, and you're like, are you even sure you understand this yourself? Yes, they do, but they can't explain it to you. Right? Maybe you are the same. So, but if you are the type who can train in any field, then if you are branching into cybersecurity, don't look too far from where you are, right? There's a book called Acres of Diamond, where it tells you that if you are looking elsewhere for financial riches and you are looking for diamond elsewhere, you are probably sitting on a diamond where you are. And the same thing applies here. Whatever you are doing in wherever you are, try to look for a very similar role in cybersecurity, non-technical side. And when you complete your training, you've gone through entry level and you're applying to a job, don't try to stretch yourself too thin to go to other areas just go straight into your comfort zone, right? And you are going to excel and do great in those areas because you have most of the tech, then the transferable skills already. That cybersecurity side, you are also good on that side, right? So this is a good fit for folks who work in HR, who work in training, communication, education. Skills needed: public speaking, content creation, right? Basic knowledge of cyber security hygiene. That is what you need to be able to do this. So you remember when we started, we were talking about if you go to the mechanic shop, there are people receiving calls, making appointments. Others are doing billing. If you want to get your bill, they are the ones who are going to put it all together and, hey, this is how much you owe, you pay the money, and right. Now, the people who are not turning wrenches in the mechanical shop or outfit, they are considered non-technical if you are looking at that industry, right? But even being non-technical, you need to understand what is going on. So being non-technical doesn't just mean you can just jump into it yes, you can jump into it. You are a trainer. You've been trainer for 10 years. But if you don't really understand cybersecurity and what is going on in there, then you wouldn't be an effective trainer, right? So that is why at the end of it all, you need public speaking, content creation, but you need basic or you need a good working knowledge in cybersecurity, right? And that applies to all the non-technical parts of cybersecurity. So if you hear Dr. Edu say all areas of security are cybersecurity are technical, I'm not going with the industry's terminology of technical and non-technical, right? So now we move into cybersecurity project coordinator. So I think from what Charles was talking about, the role he was talking about a technical compliance role, right? Mostly what they are actually looking for is in the last names of the role. So forget about the cybersecurity. What they are looking for is a project coordinator, but now you are doing it in the cybersecurity space. So if you've been a project coordinator in different careers, you can easily bring that here as well. So you are supporting what you are going to be doing here, supporting cybersecurity projects by managing timelines, meetings, documentation, reporting. Is a good fit for project management folks, business admin people, operations, and then also skills needed, organization, communication, basic project management tools like Jira and others. And then we have your cybersecurity technical writer. This is what I was referring to. So cybersecurity technical writer or content creator. I mean, this is a non-technical job. Why technical writer? It's just the name, right? So here you are going to be writing manuals. So for the folks who are who work at NIST, they are the ones writing and researching and coming up with these frameworks and even for people writing for CIS controls for ISO 27701, and you can do that job, right? If in your previous job you were writing manuals for whichever company or whichever product, you can do the same. I mean that the strategy and the tech and the tactics and the techniques for writing a manual, they are the same, right? You just have to know the content, understand the industry and what you're supposed to write about, right? So if I wouldn't give this role to somebody who is being in cybersecurity for 10 years, but have never written any manual on anything or have written any framework on anything, I'd rather give it to somebody who is coming into the industry with some good working knowledge, but they have years of experience writing manuals, right? So hopefully everybody understands that piece. So background here is writing, journalism, communication, marketing, and the list goes on. Some of the skills needed: strong writing skills and ability to simplify complex ideas. Very key, right? So another one, cybersecurity sales support. If you are a sales manager in any company, you are in sales or business development, you've been doing that for years, you can easily transition that here also as well. Now, yes, you need to understand what is going on, understand cybersecurity. So when I say understand cybersecurity, not just understanding some frameworks or somebody teaching you NIST, FISMA, PCI, and just giving you an overview of these frameworks, but really understanding the basics and fundamentals of cybersecurity, like networking, cryptography, identity and access management, right? Cybersecurity architecture and design, governance, right? Understanding all these moving parts of cybersecurity. You don't have to be an expert in any of them. You just have to understand what some of the concepts and theories and right means, and you should be able to function. If somebody speaks the cybersecurity language, you should be able to understand what they are talking about, right? So you can do sales and support. If somebody that is their gift, they can sell anything. So if you understand cybersecurity, you can sell different cybersecurity products, right? So explaining security products, prepping proposals, managing client relations, supporting sales teams. That is what you are going to be doing for this role, right? Background, if you're already in sales, customer service, accounts management, perfect for this, right? So if you're an insurance sales agent and you are at the top, you're a really good one. You don't even have to be super, super good. Even if you're average, but you have the skills, You can easily transition. So if you transition into the cybersecurity space, maybe you've gone through entry level, you've done, the internship, everything. So you have a very good grasp of what is going on. You can just go back into your comfort zone, which is sales support. There's a lot of jobs, cybersecurity sales support jobs out there because there's a lot of cybersecurity tools out there, right? And great communication, presentation skills are what you need for this role, right? Now, privacy and legal assistance. If you're already in the legal space, I'm not sure if Bettina is here. Bettina is a lawyer. Now she's a cybersecurity manager, and I know they are having her do some law, stuff in her company now. Even though she's not getting paid for that, but if they so chooses or they come up with a new rule for her, she can add legal to it, right? So privacy and legal, if you're already in the legal space, you can help with it. So mostly they help with policies, compliance, issues, documentation, and legal support, right? Now there's a niche in the security space now for cyber law, right? Most lawyers are also moving into cyber law. And even if you take like the insurance space, for example, your traditional insurance the ones outside for your cars and house and stuff, for companies, insurance, now you also have to take cyber insurance as well, right? Even for cyber security companies like Eretmis, we still have to take, and we pay a lot for cyber insurance, especially on the PCI side, right? So that is also a niche. If you're in the insurance space, you are selling insurance. Now you can school yourself on cybersecurity and be the expert in that company for cyber insurance, right? Background, paralegal,
Dr.
admin. Yes, go ahead, please.
Since you mentioned that aspect of the insurance space, I need to talk to you after the meeting, please.
Okay, so just shoot a test and
Okay,
we'll
I've
arrange
done it
something.
before. So I just want to make sure. I
Yeah,
really
shoot
need
a
to talk
test.
to you about it.
No, shoot a test and we'll take it from here.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
All right. And Nana, please go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Du, I have a real question. Maybe I have to talk to you later on. How can you link maybe the cybersecurity with to maybe money laundering, EML, financial fraud, and the AI? Is there a way you can link
Yes, of course.
it together?
Of course. There's they kind of fall under the same umbrella, right? Folks doing money laundering and all that, like what are they using? Right? They are not meeting each other and exchanging the money physically. Then nobody will be able to even track the money laundering they are doing. You see what I mean? So they are trying to go backdoor. They are trying to do all sort of things, and they do that in the IT space. That can also be caught in the cybersecurity space as well. So there's a lot of they just overlap into each other or they complement each other. So your understanding of both areas, you'll be able to find a niche within that space, and that blended perfectly, right? So yeah, so we can talk offline. We can talk offline.
All right, thank you.
All right. So skills needed here, your understanding of regulations and like HIPAA and others. Now, that is the technical. If you are in this space already, just adding up and polishing up on some of these frameworks and others. But one, having a very good working knowledge in cybersecurity overall will help, right? And then we jump into GRC. So this is where most people, they will reach out and Dr. Edu, I want to go into the non-technical part. I've heard GRC is non-technical, and I'm glad we are doing this because mostly when people say non-technical, they think they don't have to know any cybersecurity or learn anything. They just have to go in there and start working on policies, right? But you don't know the content of the policy that you are reviewing, the technical content of it. So knowing the technical part doesn't mean you're going to do a technical job, right? And what I mean by technical, by Dr. Edu's definition, everything in cybersecurity, concepts, theories, they are technical because they are not known to the ordinary person, right? So if you meet somebody on the street and you ask them, hey, what is the principle of least privilege? They're going to look at you like principle of it. I mean, I'd go ask a medical doctor, what is the principle of least privilege? He wouldn't know. He might explain it anyhow he wants, but he wouldn't know because it's a technical concept in cybersecurity. That is what I mean by, everything is technical. It doesn't mean everything is programming, everything, not the traditional technical that everybody refers to, right? So in the GRC space and in all the non-technical space of cybersecurity, you have to understand what is going on in cybersecurity, understand all the different parts of cybersecurity, right? And that is having a good working knowledge, not being an expert in networking, being an expert in cryptography, being an expert in those areas, a career move on its own, right? But if you understand networking, how networking works, how cryptography works in relation to how it can help us protect our networks, how identity and access management works, that is what you need. So if you move into GRC, you move into any area, you understand what is going on, right? Because you can't do governance, risks, and compliance without knowing anything. It's just like me saying, I'm going to go to the mechanic shop and be the guy working on the bills. And that's it. I don't need any training. I don't need nothing. Just bring the bills. I'm going to work on them. And they are bringing it and telling me, okay, this axle was whatever, whatever, and this is 0.23 of that. I'm looking at all that like Greek. What am I looking at here? Right. And I can't differentiate between this oil and that oil and that oil. So I'm just putting oil for everything. How well am I going to do there? Probably going to get fired by the end of the day. Because people are getting ridiculous bills. They change their oil, they service their whole entire Lamborghini, and the bill was $50, right? Or they just came to service their Ford Fiesta, and their bill is like 55,000. And they are like, well, let me go to the billing department and tell them a thing or two. And their Dr. Do is like, trying to hide for my dear life. People will come chasing me with sticks and stones, right? So I have to understand what is going on, know the different things, the different parts to be able to function effectively, right? So it's like similar thing, right? If you go to the pharmacy shop, folks, there, not everybody is a pharmacist. There are pharmacy technicians and others there. Some people are not even pharmacy technicians. And mostly this is mostly for folks from Africa. If you go to the pharmacy shops, you have people there who are just there to work. They didn't necessarily have any pharmaceutical training, but the pharmacists and others who are more technical are there. So for them, they know the different medications because they've been there for a while. Now, if you are very new there and somebody comes and they're asking for a specific medication and you don't even want to try because you're going to give them the wrong thing, right? But if they polish you up on okay, these are the different types of medications, this is this, that is that, these are for kids, these are for, then if somebody comes and okay, they want this, they want that, still you're going to run it by the pharmacist, but at least you have the right medicine or the right medication, taking it to them and hey, is this good enough for, right? And then they'll come and give their prescription and okay, let me look at your prescription, that is good, right? So in any industry that you find yourself, even for the non-technical part of me just selling and receiving money and stuff, I still have to know what is going on, right? And that is what I mean by everything is technical. So let's move on to what Nana was talking about. So fraud analyst and customer protection specialist. What are you going to do? So you monitor, you flag suspicious activities in transactions or account behavior. So this falls directly under the fraud space, right? And this also fall under somewhat under PCI, but really stretching it a little bit. So background, customer service, finance, banking, insurance, attention to detail, some of the key skills, investigation or investigative mindset, basic software tools also as well. So like I said, there is something for everybody in the cybersecurity space. Now, cybersecurity marketing and marketing assistants. So you are going to be marketing cybersecurity products and cybersecurity companies. you need a background in marketing, social media, and branding, and you should be able to create content, research, do market research, campaign management. But still, you have to understand what is going on in cybersecurity, right? So if you're already in marketing, you can easily branch into this. When you have a very good working in cybersecurity, very good working knowledge in cybersecurity, you can jump into this. Now, IT security admin support. So I know some people will say, well, to start off in the cybersecurity space, you can start with IT support and then, move into this space and move into that space. Now, I don't really advise that because you can do IT support for 20 years and nobody cares. Nobody is going to come in and say, hey, John, we think you've been doing IT support for a while. We are going to move you into a cybersecurity role because that is really your dream job. So if you think getting into IT support will get you there, unless, of course, you have a good roadmap, I'll do IT support for maybe 1 year or 6 months. And then whilst I'm doing that, I'm applying for cybersecurity jobs. And then when I get a role, I'm going to move on. Or if you just think you are going to stay there for experience, the experience you are getting, yes, you are familiarizing yourself with a lot of IT, dealings, but you are not necessarily doing a cybersecurity job. So, but if you want to do an IT support, then do IT security admin support, right? So this is full non-technical, and what you're going to be doing here, you're going to be doing cybersecurity role. So you are going to manage schedules, prepare reports, assist IT and security teams with documentation. And if your background is admin, executive assistant, of office manager, you can do this. And some of the skills needed: document management, reporting, scheduling tools. And we have an entry-level policy analyst. So entry-level policy analyst also falls under governance. You are going to be assisting with analyzing, drafting, reviewing internal security and data privacy policies and other policies as well. So if you have background in political science, public policy, law, or sociology, you are good in researching, writing, understanding regulations, then you'll be able to, pull this off effectively. Now we are going to jump into some of the background, which we've kind of looked at, but we are going to look at it more extensively. So what background do I need to be able to do this? And before we do, for folks who join us a little bit later, Climb is one of our partners. You can finance any of the trainings that we discussed through Climb. And a quick run through our catalog again: AI governance for folks looking to specialize in becoming AI GRC analyst, GRC specialist. This is the course for you. All these courses come with internship, and then our cloud security. Also, if you're looking to become a well-vested cloud professional. Now, a security professional, every security professional, you need to be able to operate and work in the cloud. So if you've done any of our trainings in the past, but you've not actually done the cloud security, we encourage you to look into it. And for folks looking to break into the security space, our cybersecurity entry-level course will take you from where you are to where you can start working effectively as a security professional. And then for PCI, most lucrative, arguably lucrative niche in the cybersecurity space, if you're looking to specialize, this is an area for you to look into. And for folks who've done some training with no hands-on, you think you are not ready for the job market, even if you are given the job without an interview, will you be able to do it? Come and test yourself here, whether you'll be able to do the job, right? Because here we're actually doing the job. It's not training. This is not your typical boot camp that you are going to go through basics and fundamentals. You are doing the job, right? So come join this program, work on some projects, and you are going to be job ready. Now, our WhatsApp group, you can join and then learn more and be able to, join Cyber Chats on Friday nights. And our YouTube channel, we're transmitting live on YouTube. So now we are going to jump into the backgrounds that are needed for the non-technical part of cybersecurity jobs, right? So the first one, we're looking at the security awareness training, awareness trainer or analyst or specialist. So good background: teaching, education, human resources, corporate training, psychology, right? Communication. So for the field, the main focus here is on people and behavior, and your key understanding cybersecurity habits. So because it's an awareness training, what people shouldn't be doing and what is good cybersecurity hygiene. So if you have any of these background and you are looking to branch into the cybersecurity space, this is one area to look out for, right? Now, the project management, cybersecurity project coordinator, good backgrounds for this: project management background, operations background, business admin background, office management background, event planning background. You can do this. The focus here is organizing, scheduling, tracking, and skills needed is admin heavy. So for anyone who is coming from any of these backgrounds, this is a good area for you to look into. Cybersecurity technical writing and content creators. So journalists, English, if you have a background in English, literature, marketing, writing, UX writing, and instructional design. So here, skills needed: strong communication, strong writing, communication skills are essential and also being able to simplify technical content for a broader audience, right? So you have to, I can't stress on that enough, a good working knowledge in cybersecurity, right? And if you don't have that, the entry level will give you a very good working knowledge beyond an entry level, professional. Now, for cybersecurity sales and support, good background, sales and accounting, and account management, business development, customer service, marketing, real estate, and insurance. So if you're a real estate broker or insurance broker, you are looking to switch, like I always keep saying, there's something for everybody, right? Now, it requires persuasion. So you're able to convince and persuade people, relationship building, customer insights, transferable skills so you can transfer, all these skills into cybersecurity products sales, privacy and legal. So if you are paralegal, you are legal secretary, corporate compliance, public policy, risk management. If you're in any of these space, you can directly apply your skills that you have into this space into the cybersecurity compliance workspace. For GRC assistant or GRC specialist, any of the GRC roles, if you are coming from auditing, accounting and finance, quality assurance, procurement, internal controls, this is also a good space for you to look into, right? And then we have fraud analyst, customer protection specialist. If you are coming from a claims investigation, call center for dispute resolution, insurance, banking, and finance, this is a good space for you, right? So also you can easily transfer your skills from there into this space as well. Now for cybersecurity marketing assistant, digital marketing, social media marketing, market research, branding and PR, advertising or advertisement. Companies need marketers who can draft compelling campaigns about their security products and services, right? So if you're in this space, you can also look into this also as well, right? And then I think lastly, we will look at the IT admin support. So IT security admin support, if you're an admin assistant, executive assistant, office manager, operations coordinator, data entry, you can also do this because you are going to be dealing with documentation, scheduling, supporting teams. This is literally what you are doing in that role, right? And I think last one is the policy analyst. And if you have a political science background, sociology, policy, public policy, and also government affairs, legal studies, you can also transfer your skills into this space because it directly, everything that you need, everything that you have in this space in the background will help you to pull up this role as well, right? Now, with that, we are going to run through everything that all the other courses we've run through already. So we're just going to jump straight into questions and answers. And I know there were some hands that were up. If you have any questions, you can bring it up. And there are a lot of, hopefully this starts the conversation, within your minds. And now you are thinking about, okay, what am I bringing to the table? So whatever you are bringing to the table, start looking for roles in that, side of what you already have, right? So if you've gone through any of our trainings already, now this should help you to narrow it down to, okay, this is some of the areas that I can look into because I already have a background in these areas, right? If you are new getting into the cybersecurity space, yes, you have the transferable skills already. Get into a training that is going to build your knowledge and then also give you some hands-on. So when you branch into any of these non-technical roles, you'll be able to function effectively. And also you narrow down to a field that you're already in that you can easily leverage to make you a rock star, right? In whichever role that you're going to find yourself. Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Edu.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for your contribution to the community. I'm actually joining you guys live for the first time, although I've been listening to your messages for a long time now. Over time, I've heard you say educational background, age are not limitations. I quite agree, but I have questions regarding that area.
Okay.
The trend of today, if anyone who peradventure have a high school diploma and whose resume speaks to the experience and responsibility, and another person who is a competitor too for the same role has a bachelor's and have equal experience, would you think that the person who has bachelor's have an upper hand? That's one question. Then the second one is looking at it from the age and the competition based on the trend of the technology of today. Yes, I also heard you said that age should actually be an advantage. But in the real world of selection and interview processes, do you really think that would be a leverage for any person who is of that age range between 40 and 60, like I heard you said in previous? I'd like you to throw more light on that, if you don't mind, sir.
Okay. So thank you for bringing that question up. Now, let me start with age. When you apply for a role, nobody's age is on their resume. Am I right or wrong? Anybody puts their age on their resume or date of birth?
You're right.
So when you apply, nobody knows your age. When you go to interviews, nobody knows your age. During an interview, they don't ask you how old are you. The only time they get to know your age is when they offer you the job. Even that is HR who is going to know your age. The hiring manager who gave you the role, they don't really care, right? The HR will know your age because you have to submit your social security, you have to submit your passport or your ID. That is how they'll get to know your age. Until they give you a role, and nobody will give you a role and say, well, I didn't know, you were the friend of David in the Bible, so you are too old for this. Sorry, we can't hire you. That's never going to happen. If they gave you the role, they gave you the role. So the only time they will find out about your age is when they've given you the role. So during interviews, age wouldn't even come in. That is why I say age doesn't matter, right? Now, age will work for you yourself because Emmanuel, when you were 25 and now, if you're supposed to employ Emmanuel who was 25 and Emmanuel now, whom are you going to choose in terms of maturity, in terms of calmness, in terms of analytical thinking, critical thinking?
Absolutely. It actually depends on the role. And for now, when it comes to the non-technical decision-making and the temperament, empathy, and all of the above, my today is definitely more of tolerating behavior than when I was 25.
Yes. But if when you were 25, we're going to play soccer, obviously we will pick 25 Emmanuel, right? So, but here, fortunately for us, the job that you are going to do is not physically demanding as, other, fields would demand, right? So that is about the age. The only time they're going to know about your age is when they give you a role. And nobody's role has been, taken back or they've canceled that role because of your age. So that doesn't matter, right? So when it comes to age, helping you or not, going against you or going for you, is really your own opinion about your self-maturity, or like how you've developed yourself to be, right? So, and all things being equal, we know that as you age, you become wiser, you become more mature, right? So that is it. Now, going back to somebody who has a bachelor's and somebody who has only high school, right? Now, if employers were just employing based on your resume, then we will say, okay, this person has 5 certifications. He has, a bachelor's in cybersecurity and a master's in cybersecurity. So he looks more favorable. Now, when it comes to the interviews, is where we really will, differentiate between the men and the boys, or the girls and the women, right? I think during our graduation last week, one of our students, Tutu, we didn't even know she has gotten a job. She came back and during her interview, once she was done, she didn't even prepare that much for her, interview, GRC interview. She got a job, and she taught everything that she has gone through the GRC internship. She has gone through like a year ago, right? So she thought she might forgotten most of the things she did, but actually everything she did, really helped her because she was able to talk about them. Now, her hiring manager told her they interviewed almost about 100 people, and she got the role, right? And it's not because she had the best resume with the most qualifications on it. And you were talking about, well, in real life, I sit on a lot of real life interviews and panels. So what I'm telling you is real life. The
Thank you.
resume will get you the interview. It's during the interview that your degree in cybersecurity or your 5 certifications, they are going to be put to the test. So sometimes you look at somebody's resume and you listen to the nonsense they are talking, and you are like, where did they get these certifications? Right? They can't even answer basic cybersecurity questions. It's not even about doing at that point. Just ask them simple kindergarten cybersecurity questions, and they are all over the place. Well, they are claiming they have Security Plus, CISA, CISSP, and you ask them about, so why would you choose to use HTTP instead of HTTPS? And they are totally lost. Totally lost. Or like I had a conversation with one guy who was swearing heaven and earth. What they are making him do on the job is not what they brought him to do, and he doesn't know the cloud and everything he's doing. They want him to do in the cloud. And I'm like, okay, so what exactly do they have you do? He went through the list, and I'm like, it has nothing to do with the cloud. Yes, you are doing it in the cloud, but it has nothing to really do with you not knowing your way around in the cloud. Well, why is that? I asked them, but everything they want you to do falls under identity and access management. You have to implement some multi-factor authentications and others. But let me ask you, what are the factors of authentication? This guy couldn't name one. He has a cybersecurity job. He didn't go through our training, for sure. I can tell you that. He couldn't tell me one factor of authentication. But I'm telling you, these are the people with resumes with like 3 or 4 certifications on it.
Not
A degree in
multi-factor, just
cybersecurity.
a factor of authentication.
One factor. I was just asking him, what are the factors of authentication, right? 5 factors of authentication. A combination of 3 gives you a multi-factor authentication.
Yes.
He couldn't give me one factor. He didn't know what the factors are, let alone tell me one. Right. And I'm like, so you see your problem. Your problem is not AWS. Your problem is your fundamentals
Foundational knowledge.
Your fundamentals are weak. So the job that you are doing, you are working heart attack. You are just running around till they fire you because you have no clue what you are doing. You think you can just bulldoze your way through. Yes, you're able to bulldoze your way through and you got a job, but you can't bulldoze your way through all the way to the end because they need somebody to actually do the work, right? So if anybody who knows their stuff comes through and they want you to deliver these products, do that, and you're all over the place, now they'll just write you out and say, hey, you have to, who hired this guy? Right. So don't really worry about certificate people with 5 certifications, degrees in. Yes, if you have all that and you truly worked hard for it, not overlooking that or underestimating that, that is good. But still, you are going to go to the same interviews like somebody with no degree. So let your degree show during the interview. You see what I mean? So if you
Yes, sir.
said, I have, 5 certifications and a master's degree in cybersecurity. Okay. We will see your master's degree during the interview. And during the interview, the person with no degree is able to tell us exactly what he did, and it's obvious he's done the job. He's obvious he understands security. You, on the other hand, you are talking in parables, right? You are like talking around in circles and trying to let us think you know what you are, and you know yourself you are talking bullshit, frankly. So that is my answer to your question. The degrees is good if you have it. If you have a master's in cybersecurity, a master's in anything, a degree is good. A degree in anything is good, right? It shows you paid attention, you are trainable, you stayed in school, because some people are very smart, but they can't stay on course to even do an associate degree. They will just drop off every single time, even if you're paying it for them for free. They will, because they can't just stay with one thing. And that is what your degree speaks about you. You're able to stick to a plan and you execute it all the way to the end, right? So whatever your degree in, for me, degrees are supposed to broaden your horizon in terms of your thinking, your analytical thing, not necessarily for the technical something that you are learning, right? But it really expands your level of thinking and your degree of analyzing stuff, right? So degrees are good in cybersecurity, in all other fields is good, but that is really not going to be a discriminator against anybody who don't have a degree or a certification. The interviews are the discriminators. So if you go there performing not so well and you think your degrees are going to shield you, think twice. It is not, right? And what I always tell everybody, you are the certification. You as a person, you are the certification. What you know in your head is the certification, not the paper you are holding. What you
I
know in your head
totally
is the
agree with
degree,
that.
not the piece of paper you are holding, right? Because during the interviews, when they ask you a question, are you going to lift up your certification and say, well, you can ask my CISSP certification? Or you can, well, I'll defend this one with my Security Plus certification. It doesn't work that way. They're asking you. So if you don't remember anything on the certification or you have somebody write the certification for you, then, you have nothing to say. Because there are a lot of people who are paying people to write certifications for them. There are some people who are doing that, right? I don't know the science and the genius behind that, but people are doing that. Right. So it's just like Dr. Edu saying, go write for the pilot exams for me to get the pilot license. What am I going to do with the pilot license? Hang it in my room for decoration or go fly American Airlines? I can't fly nothing. Right. Yeah, I have the license in my wallet. I can show it to my friends and show how cool I am, but that is about it. I'm not going to fly nothing because I know once I get behind the cockpit is I'm about to commit suicide. Right. And whoever else is close to me or sitting in that plane, we are all going down. Right. So if you have somebody write the certification for you, then maybe probably you don't want to make this a career. You just want to get a job and get the money for 2 months and get fired. Right. So hopefully that helps, Emmanuel. Any other
Yes, it
questions
does.
before we wrap up? Yes.
Yeah, a quick one. When I was paying for the internship, I got a link that says book an appointment with you or your representative. Is that part of the criteria?
No, you really don't. If you don't have any questions, they are going to send you all the information for the internship once the details are ready, right? And mostly you get it a week before the program starts.
Okay. Thank you so very much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, everyone, and some shout outs to let's go through the chats. I know on YouTube there are some team lives in there, and there are some questions. Jerry and Chucks and Usman, Ishmael, and others. We acknowledge you in the chat. And for the chat that is on WhatsApp. For the chat that we have on here, Sabrina's, hi everyone. We have Nicole from Atlanta, and some greetings in the Tuyen. Hopefully I got your name right. So Tuyen from Dallas, Texas. And Suleiman answered the question. I think asked the question. Oh, Suleiman, so one question to Dr. Edu. Is it necessary to go SOC analyst training after Security Plus before landing a job in the cybersecurity space? No. So if you have Security Plus, my next take will be to work on some projects. So whether with Eretmis GRC internship or workshop, or you can go do something elsewhere, but work on some projects. Security Plus gives you the knowledge base. And also, I'll say, depending on how you prepared for Security Plus, mostly when you are preparing for the exams, your focus is on to pass the exams. When you pass, go back to the material and look at it in a more relaxed state. That way you'll be able to absorb most of the information in there, right? Because that is a good foundation for anything you want to do in the security space. But work on some projects. You can learn all you want. If you've never worked on any project, you've never worked on any project. And during interviews, that is what is going to set you apart from everybody else, right? Everybody else is doing the same thing. Get some certifications, go to interviews. If you're lucky and they pick you, they'll train you on the job. And you get on the job and you know they're not going to train you on nothing. Because are you going to employ a driver and teach him how to drive? Of course not. Right. You might as well give that role to your cousin. Right. So, and then, pay them and teach them like how to do the work. Right. So, going through the Mike, Atlanta, we have Fred from Texas, and then also Charles from Texas as well. Texas as well, and then we have some team lives in there. And George was having some issues. Team lives in there. Benson from Florida, Rowley from Pennsylvania, and Maurice from Maryland, and Benson, Florida. Okay, Benjamin from Texas, and Sabrina was asking sometimes. They are the one who will order the parts. Okay, yeah. So that was to the mechanic question that we're talking about earlier, right? And the list goes on. So so some of the answers that were being given, and I think that is about it. So the link, we have Rose from NYC and NS from Massachusetts, and some team lives in there. And Achari, I got preoccupation call. Can I appoint? Okay, yeah. So you can make an appointment on here. The appointment link was posted, so you can use that to make an appointment. But on that note, we are wrapping up here shortly, right? So, any questions from the group before we wrap up for tonight?
Dr. Du, I'll call you right after.
Okay, so give me about 10 minutes after here. All right, everyone. Appreciate everybody's time. We're wrapping up for tonight. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. Appreciate everybody's time. It's Friday night. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here. Hopefully, you got something new for your toolbox. And for everyone who's looking to get into the cybersecurity space, we encourage you to go through our Cybersecurity for Beginners course. It's free course in the links. And for folks who've already gone through any of our training, and you are still kind of on the sidelines in the application process, kindly revisit what we just went through. Right, there is something for everybody, wherever you are, whichever field you are coming from. Acres of diamonds are where you are right now. So with the knowledge you've acquired, look not too far from what you are in and start applying to jobs that relate to what you are doing now. Right. On that note, appreciate everyone's time. We'll meet same time next week. Have a great and wonderful weekend. Good night, everyone.